Hello everybody, it's Ronnie with Whip and Chain, and I was asked to do a video with a 3.5mm crochet hook to make the same video that I did for the chair feet covers, to see how they turn out. Do this video in a 3.5, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I do enjoy the requests, guys, so if you have a request that you want something different done or something else, please come join us on Facebook and send your request. I'll do as many as I can, as fast as I can. I just feel blessed that people are requesting. So let's get started. And I was asked to use regular yarn, so I'm using regular acrylic yarn, level number 4, and this works up super easy. And if you notice, I have small hands, so this just fits on my hand. So for the thinner chair legs, this would work beautifully. Okay, all right, I will recommend a stitch marker. It just helps, and I'm using just Karen 1 pound yarn. Okay, I got a knot that I got to cut out, and there's my yarn. So now let's get started. Yippity yippity yippee. I love requests. So suggestion is to use a magic circle, but again, if you're not comfortable with magic circles, you can chain 4 and slip stitch into the first chain. Okay, so do the magic circle, come up and chain 1. Now in this, I want you to put 10 single crochets. Now after I get my second one done, I always put a stitch marker in the first one so I don't ever have to wonder where my first stitch is, because I'm bad with that. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I am again not gonna close my magic circle all the way for now. It's easier to see the stitches. So I want you to slip stitch into your first stitch. Okay, that's what it looks like so far. Now I want you to chain 1, and I want you to go back in that stitch and put a single crochet. Now this is going to be really important because you're working with a smaller hook. I'm going to recommend that you mark your first stitch. Okay, so now in the next stitch we're going to do a puff stitch. So wrap your hook, go in that first stitch, grab your yarn, bring it through, wrap your yarn, go through 2, wrap your yarn, go back in, come on up, wrap, go through 2 more. You have 3 loops. Wrap your hook, go through, bring it on up, wrap your hook and go through 2. Now you have 4. Let's do it one more time. And wrap your hook, go through 2, and you will have 5 stitches. Wrap your hook, go through all 5. Take your finger and push out your puff stitch. Then I want you to chain 2, 1 and 2. Slip stitch into the next stitch. And in the next one, let's do another puff. These are the toes that we're doing. Just slip in, come through, and 2. Wrap your hook, go through, and 2. wrap your hook, go back in, and 3. Wrap your hook, and you wrap your hook. Now you will have 5. You wrap your hook, go through all 5, chain 2, and try to take your finger and push this little piggy toe out. You slip stitch into the next stitch. Okay, and we're going to do one more puff stitch for his last toe. Go in, wrap, and go through 2. Wrap, and go through 2. I think I did that wrong. Let's start again. I got lost count somewhere. That's okay. You're allowed. Go through now. Go through 2. Go through 2. Through 2, and one more time. You have 5 hooks, wrap, go through 5, chain 2, and you slip stitch into your next stitch. And you should have 3 stitches remaining in the 3 stitches. Just put in 1 single crochet in each of those stitches. 1, 2, and 3. And then I want you to slip stitch to your first stitch, and this is where you should see where the stitch marker is my saving grace. And there. Okay. All right. Now the next row is 1 single crochet in every stitch. So chain 1, go back into that first stitch, and I'll help you find your stitches on this one. All right, here's my first single crochet. Mark my stitch. So in each puff, you'll do 1 single crochet on each side of it. So we did 1 single crochet. Next one, so that's 2 on the other side of it. That's 3, and you do it again on the one side. 4 on the other side. 5, 6 on the last side, 7, and then on the last 3 stitches just match stitch to stitch. Eight, 9, and 10. And then I'm going to just slip stitch to the first stitch. Now bring up your yarn, and now is the perfect time to tighten your piggy at the bottom, as tight as you can get it. Now I want you to do 1 more row of just matching stitch to stitch. So chain 1, go back down there and do 1 single crochet. Take up my stitch marker. Sorry, that's my moose in the background. That's 1. 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And if you weren't able to make it through to this, you're golden. So just slip stitch to your first stitch, slip stitch, chain 1, and cut your white and pull through. Now it is time to use your gray, or you do any color you want by all means. All right, so now we're going to add our gray. Now, please understand, I want you to wrap your hook first. And I want you to go into the stitch right above where you fastened off. Put your hook in. Make sure your loop is tight. Come through. And go all the way through. Make sure your yarn's in the center so it's easier to hide in here, okay? I didn't have the full string of yarn. And chain 1. And make sure please make sure it's in here, okay? So in that stitch, I want you to do 1 single crochet, put in your stitch marker. We're matching stitch to stitch, so if you want to not have to weave in this yarn, hide it while you're crocheting stitch to stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is where I personally cut off my tail. It's one less thing I have to worry about. And that end, I'm just going to tuck in until later. And I tuck it in so it don't get caught up in my other stitches. 8, 9, and 10. And then please slip stitch to your first one. Chain 1. In the first stitch, put your hook in. Take your stitch marker out. We're going to do a little increase. So in this stitch, put in 1, 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And in the next 4, just put 1 single crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then in the next stitch, I want you to put in 2 single crochets in the same stitch. 1 and 2. And then put in 4 single crochets in the last 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you slip stitch to your first stitch, chain 1, and put in 1 single crochet all the way around, and you should have now 12 stitches. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and then slip stitch, chain 1, and I want you to do 1 more round of 12. So let's go back in there. Take that stitch out. Put it in my first stitch again. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 11, and 12. And then I want you to slip stitch to the first stitch, chain 1. I want you to put 2 single crochets in the first stitch. So it's 1, 2, and then I want you to put 1 single crochet in each of the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I want you to put in 2 single crochets in the next stitch. 1, 2, and then 1 single crochet in the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then you slip stitch. Now you should have a total of 14 stitches. This is where I'm done with my stitch marker, and I want you to do 3 rounds of 14, and I just count. So I chain 1, I put a single crochet back in that same stitch and go around. 1, 2, and 14, and slip stitch. Chain 1, single crochet again. 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. And you slip stitch. And one more last row. Chain 1, and it's just matching stitch to stitch. And 14. Then you just connect to your first one, slip stitch, chain 1, cut, pull your yarn, and there I have some sticking out yarn I would have to fix. That's from my weaving in. Anyway, here is the piggy toe. And then all you need to do is grab some black string, and this is cotton yarn. And get a darning needle. You take your piggy toe, you put it in, and you go through the bottom of the foot first. You decide where you want to go. Pull your yarn. Don't use it all. Let the end stick out. And you go in through the front. And then you go back through that same point that you came out of. And there's one foot. So what I would do with this, if everybody's worried about it, see this? Pull it out. So everybody don't think I'm crazy. I just trim the end. There you go. So then you go through the front again. And you take your hook, your needle, your hook, your darning needle over to the other foot. And then you go through the top of the foot, and then you make sure you come down through the same spot. Just like that. See how that indents the foot? Then I just go a tad over so it's not the same spot. And I bring my hook up. And then I weave in the ends. But that is how you do a 3.5mm crochet hook, a little foot, and that opening. Oh, look, I did an extra row on one than the other, but that's okay. You can make them taller, you can make them shorter, you can make them however you want. But this is the 3.5mm crochet hook that was requested, and I'm thrilled to do it. That's what I'm here for. That's what I enjoy doing. That's my passion. And with Maggie keeping me in line with projects, it helps me to stay organized. And if you have any questions, please come find us on Facebook. If this video was helpful to you, can you come find us on Facebook under Whip and Chain and join us? Until my next tutorial, have a great day. Stay crocheting.